Hey guys, it's Johnny Talk. Today's topic is the pride of Utah Jazz, the scoring ace, the mailman, Karl Malone.
Take a look through the peephole, yo, everybody's getting geek, bro. Stop the hate and let them leaks know that we turn the club into a freak show. Turn the club to a freak show.
Speaking of the best duo in the history of NBA, apart from Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, we must talking about the duo in Utah Jazz, John Stockton and Karl Malone. Because Chicago Bulls won 6 championships in a row, and that was why all the fans and the media were so focused on Karl Malone and Scottie Pippen. Even the duo of Utah Jazz have never had the chance to win the championship in their lives, but still, John Stockton was the best assist leader in the history of NBA. And the total score of Karl Malone was the second best in the history. So, in this episode, let's get to know more about John Stockton's best partner, the mailman, Karl Malone. Karl Malone is 6'9", weighed 250 pounds. He was a Husky player. He was the 13th pick in the draft of 1985. In his first year, he was a starter as a power forward. Let's take a note here. The assist leader, John Stockton, was in the draft of 1984. That is to say that, since Karl Malone's first game ever, John Stockton was already passing the ball to him. What a fate. Karl Malone was actually not a mainly scorer in the team at his first year. Because at that time, there was a player in the team who got the scoring leader twice in his career, and also got into the Hall of Fame, and that was Adrian Dantley. During the season of 1985 to 1986, he could score the PPG of 29.8 points. And that made him the number 1 scorer in the team. As for Karl Malone's points per game was 14.9 points, 8.9 rebounds, 2.9 assists, 1.3 steals, and 8.9 rebounds was the highest record of the team. The second season of Karl Malone's career was the season of 1986 to 1987. Adrian Dantley joined Detroit Pistons. And since this season, Karl Malone has become the scorer of the team. During this season, he got the points per game of 21.7 points, 10.4 rebounds, 1.3 steals. Even though the team got the chance to get into the playoffs, but they got defeated by Philadelphia Warriors at the first round, the season of 1987 to 1988 is a very important one. Why so? First, John Stockton's first 3 seasons has always started from the bench, never a starter. But in this season, he was finally a starter as a point guard. He could have averaged 1.3 steals per game. Second, Karl Malone's points per game has come to 27.7 points, 12 rebounds. This made him got into the All-Star game. At the end of the season, he even got into the second team of All-Defensive Team and also the second team of All-NBA Team. During the season of 1988 to 1989, Utah Jazz changed the coach at the beginning of the season. They replaced the coach, who once won NBA Coach of the Year award by Jerry Sloan, who owned an outstanding record of 12-21 wins, and also the won-loss percentage of 0.603. All of you should know that, 12-21 wins, it is the 4th best record in the history of NBA. In this season, the points per game of Karl Malone has risen to 29.1 points, 10.7 rebounds. This also made him get the ticket to go to the first team of All-NBA Team. What we need to take a look is that, he got the 3rd place of the MVP of the year. Second only to Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan, 2 famous players in the history. To put it another way, the NBA League has come to Karl Malone's time. During the season of 1989 to 1990, Karl Malone's points per game was 31 points, 11.1 rebounds. 31 points was the best score in his career. On the 27th of January, 1990, during the game which they faced Milwaukee Bucks, Karl Malone scored 21 balls out of 26. And got the best score of his career, 61 points. From this, we can see how powerful was his scoring skill. What's more impressive is that, since the season of 1987 to 1988, for the next 8 seasons, Karl Malone managed to have the points per game of 25 points and 10 rebounds. His ability was without doubt one of the best. In every season, John Stockton was always the assist leader of the league. And Karl Malone managed to have an outstanding record of the points per game also in every season. But Utah Jazz has never had the chance to play in the championship until 1996. The season of 1991 to 1992, Utah Jazz lost to Portland Trail Blazers in the championship of Western Conference. The season of 1994 to 1995, even though they had the record of 60 wins/22 loss. But then, they got defeated by Houston Rockets at the first round. The season of 1995 to 1996, during the championship, after the tiebreaker, they lost to Seattle Supersonics. And that's why, even John Stockton and Karl Malone had lots of great records, including All-NBA team, All-Defensive team, etc. They didn't get the chance to play in the championship before 1996. The season of 1996 to 1997, Utah Jazz had their best record, 64 wins/18 loss. Karl Malone got the first ever MVP in his career with the points per game of 27.4 points, 9.9 rebounds, 4.5 assists. They defeated Los Angeles Clippers with a record of 3-0 at the first round of the playoffs. At the second round, they defeated Los Angeles Lakers with a record of 4-1, and also defeated Los Angeles Clippers with a record of 4-2 in the Western Conference. They finally stood on the stage of the championship, and their opponent was Chicago Bulls. At the end, Chicago Bulls defeated Utah Jazz with a record of 4-2, got their second champion in a row. But what we need to pay attention is the fifth and sixth game, the fifth game of the championship, which is also the most famous game of Michael Jordan. Before this game, Michael Jordan got the flu. At the last 30 seconds of the fourth period, two teams had even score. But then, Michael Jordan shot a 3-point shot, and the score was 85-88. Later, Utah Jazz got 2 points. But there was something going on the court, because there was no player of Utah Jazz used the foul strategy, and that made Chicago Bulls got another 2 points. Chicago Bulls was 3 points ahead at that time. At the last moment of the game, John Stockton had 2 free throws. The first ball should score, and the second shouldn't, so that the teammates could get the ball and shoot a 2-point shot, in order to get even score. But at that time, John Stockton, whose free throw percentage was over 80%, didn't score the first ball. At the end, Chicago Bulls won. And this victory left another great story in the career of Michael Jordan. In fact, in the sixth game, we couldn't know who's going to win until the end. At the last 10 seconds of the game, Michael Jordan, who played isolation, scored 39 points all by himself. Utah Jazz decided to play double team, and at that time, Michael Jordan passed the ball to Steve Kerr, and then shot a perimeter shot. This key shot defeated Utah Jazz with a score of 88-86. And Chicago Bulls got their second champion. In the season of 1997 to 1998, both Chicago Bulls and Utah Jazz got the record of 62 wins/20 loss. And this brought them to the championship together again. At the third game, Chicago Bulls defeated Utah Jazz with a score of 96-54-42. This game was a truly nightmare to Utah Jazz. During the sixth game, at the last 24 seconds, the score was 86-85, Utah Jazz was ahead. But Karl Malone made a mistake at the low post, and Michael Jordan took the ball and ran over half court, and shot the historic ball at the last 5 seconds. And this shot also led Chicago Bulls as their third champion. Utah Jazz made some little mistakes in 2 championships in a row, and that, of course, was a regret in every fan's heart. These 2 seasons were the closest to the champion for Karl Malone. In the summer of 1998, Michael Jordan announced his second retirement. There were only 50 games during the season of 1998 to 1999 due to the lockdown. In this season, Karl Malone's points per game was 23.8 points, 9.4 rebounds, and 4.1 assists, and got the second MVP of his career. But at the playoffs, Utah Jazz lost to Portland Trail Blazers at the second round of Western Conference, the season of 1999 to 2000. Even though Utah Jazz got the record of 55 wins/27 loss, they still lost to Portland Trail Blazers once again at the second round of the playoffs. In the summer of 2000, Jeff Hornacek retired. He was one of the big 3 in Utah Jazz. For the next 3 seasons, Utah Jazz managed to get into the playoffs, but got defeated all at the first round. They lost to Dallas Mavericks with a record of 2-3 at the playoffs of 2001. After, they lost to Sacramento Kings with a record of 1-3 at the playoffs of 2002. At the first round of the playoffs in 2003, NBA changed the game to NBA 7-7-7-7, a best-of-7 series. Utah Jazz once again lost to Sacramento Kings with a record of 1-4. In the summer of 2003, the world's greatest assist leader, John Stockton, retired. In the same summer, Karl Malone joined Los Angeles Lakers for chasing the champion. But at the end, Los Angeles Lakers lost to Detroit Pistons, which means he never had the chance to win the championship. Karl Malone eventually retired in the summer of 2004, and what we need to notice is that Karl Malone's last season of his career, which is the season of 2003 to 2004, he only played 42 games. During the series of championship when they faced Detroit Pistons, he couldn't play the fifth game due to his injury. In fact, the season of 2003 to 2004 was also the season which he played the least. In the career of John Stockton, he had perfect attendance in 17 seasons. Even though Karl Malone couldn't beat John Stockton on this, he still played over 80 games in each season of the first 18 seasons in his career. During the season of 1998 to 1999, he only played 49 games due to the lockdown. So the duo of Karl Malone and John Stockton was really a model of NBA. Now, we'll be talking about how special Karl Malone was. First, his free throw. During the first 2 seasons of his career, his free throw percentage wasn't even 60%. But after, he was trying so hard to improve that. At the end, his free throw percentage was 0.742. As a power forward, it's a pretty good note. What's more interesting is that, every time when it was his time to do the free throw, he always mumbled something. No one knew what he mumbling about. Then, he declared that it was only a little action to make him more focused. This also became his specialty. Second, the last half of his career, he started to play fadeaway shot. No matter Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dirk Nowitzki, they actually all started to play this skill in the last half of their career. This scoring skill is totally different from the skill that they used to play when they were young. Because this skill can prevent unnecessary collision, and also can prolong the career of players. From this we can see that Karl Malone never stopped improving himself, which made him better and better. Third, his bloodiest elbow. Karl Malone was a very tough player, and he was really muscular. So when he tried to defend or tried to take the rebound, he often hurt other players. Including Steve Nash, David Robinson, Isaiah Thomas, they all got injured because of him. From this, we can see that Karl Malone was really a husky player. Fourth, his slam dunk. He put one hand on his head when he was doing the slam dunk. Even till now, there are some players do the same pose just to honor him. Fifth, which is the most important one. John Stockton and Karl Malone was one of the best duos in the history of NBA. From the season of 1986 to 1987 till the season of 2002 to 2003, which is John Stockton's last season, Karl Malone has always had the highest points per game in the team, and John Stockton has always been the best assist. They were great like this for the whole 17 seasons. What an amazing achievement. Let's take a look back at the career of Karl Malone. He had lots of glories, including the 14 times that he got selected into All-Star Game and All-NBA Game, got selected 4 times into All-Defensive Team, and twice MVP. His career total is 36,928 points, which is the second highest in the history of NBA. His total rebounds is 14,968, which is the 7th highest in the history, which is a statistic that represents a player who is irreplaceable. He is the 4th place on that board. From all the statistics above, we can see that even Karl Malone never had the chance to win the championship, but he still is one of the greatest players in the world. Hope that more and more young fans can get to know the Mailman, Karl Malone, through this episode. Which star do you want to see? Leave a message and subscribe to me.